Peace, I'm Danah V. Richardson, and this is Right Edit. Welcome to People's Park in Shanghai, China. What we're witnessing here is a matchmaking tradition. People come to the park on the weekends and the holidays, and they post information, age, sex, career choice, salary, etc., sometimes a picture, on an umbrella. Then other people with singles in their family come to pick out a match for their single loved one. So in a moment here, I'm going to walk around the park so you can see what it looks like. However, it's a little late in the day, around 5 o'clock, so it's not quite as crowded as it was probably earlier. But there's still a lot of people here. So let's get started. I just came back from my trip to Taipei, Taiwan, and I stayed in this wonderful hostel called UINN, UN. And this is only the second hostel I've stayed in. This was a neat hostel in the heart of Taipei. It's between two train stations. It has a host of convenience stores and restaurants beside it. Now, there are two reasons why I chose this hostel. The first reason is its cleanliness. Those of you who know me know that I can't stay someplace that isn't clean. That's not even an option for me. I just can't do it. I will pay hundreds of American dollars more per night just to sleep in a clean bed and have a clean bathroom. I found UN on C-Trip, and review after review after review stated how clean this place was. And it's true. The place is incredibly clean. So I came and I stayed. Now, when I booked on C-Trip, I think I have ants crawling on me. When I booked on C-Trip, originally, so that was one reason. I chose it for the cleanliness. The other reason was it had this spaceship theme. So you could sleep in these cubicles like you were sleeping in a spaceship, and the ceiling was painted with glow-in-the-dark planets and stars. And I was like, oh man, that's so cool. I'll do it just for the experience. Now, when I tried to book on C-Trip, it didn't allow me to book on that room. It said it was for males only. So I was really disappointed. And I was like, well, I guess I understand that. Probably more men travel alone or in small groups and stay in hostels than women do. And maybe they could only afford to do one floor like that. So, satisfy your customer. But I was so upset that I looked for other hostels, but nothing, just satisfied me. So I went on ahead and I booked in a bed on the women's floor in that hostel, and thought, well, maybe I'll just catch a glimpse of something cool while I'm there. So I went to Taipei and I stayed in the hostel, and I had a good time. Like I said, it was clean and everything like that. Well, my last night there, they threw a barbecue. And hello, got people looking at me. You want to say hello?不可以说中文。你说英文吗？No. What was I saying? So they threw a barbecue on the last day for Mid-Autumn Festival, which is the holiday right now going on in China. And I got to meet other folks. And I happened to meet this really cool woman from Australia who was on vacation. Her name is Sharisa. Hello, Sharisa. And she happened to be telling me she was staying in one of the spaceships. And I was like, I thought those were only for men. And she was like, no, I'm staying in a spaceship. They have a room for women. I don't think it's full. You should totally come and stay in there. And I so wanted to go, but it was my last night. And I was like, I'm ensconced in my room already. I don't feel like moving all of my crap. And then I thought, wait a minute. This is the whole reason that you even picked this hostel. What do you mean you're ensconced? Girl, you better embrace change and go and have this once-in-a-lifetime experience. So I went up to my room And I looked at my stuff and I was like, I don't really have that much stuff to move. I've got to pack it anyway because I'm leaving in the morning. Why don't I just pack it and see if I can get a room? So I went downstairs and I asked for a bed I asked for a cubicle in the spaceship. And sure enough, there was one available. And I'm going to post pictures here on Facebook so that you guys can see what this looks like. I mean, it was totally awesome, totally worth it, especially if you're a geeky chick like me. Even if you're not, this was like beautiful. This is awesome. So I went downstairs and he was like, sure. I paid the extra, I packed my stuff and I went downstairs. And I'm so glad I embraced the change. I'm so glad. It was wonderful. Instead of saying that, I stayed in this cool hostel but stayed in a room I didn't really want to stay in, I can say I slept in the spaceship cubicle. And that means a lot to me that I had that experience. So embrace change. Things come your way for a reason. And I'm so glad that I did it. It was totally comfortable. And if you're ever in Taipei, Taiwan, please check out UINN. Now, I wanted to talk about change, having that moment and at first not wanting to embrace the opportunity because it would be somewhat of inconvenience to have to pack everything just for the last night, just to only stay 10 hours in that room and then leave. Instead, I decided to go ahead and embrace change. And so I wanted to talk about that. Did you know that Walt Disney Pictures had been working on its rendition of Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Snow Queen, since 1937? And even in 1937, producers found it difficult to make the Snow Queen relatable to audiences. So Disney tried a number of times to get this film going, but repeatedly had to shelve it for one reason or another. A major breakthrough happened when contributors decided to make Elsa a scared girl struggling to control and come to terms with her gifts, instead of just an evil Snow Queen. First of all, your villain should always be relatable, but that's another video. Suddenly, Elsa was relatable, but that's a major change from the original story. Furthermore, it's a change that took Disney decades to come to. Was it worth it? Well, it earned $1.3 billion at the box office. It is the highest grossing animated film of all time and the highest grossing film of 2013. It won 2 Academy Awards, a Golden Globe, and 2 Grammy Awards. And half of all the little girls in my school choose Elsa as their English name. What's the point? Embrace change. When one completes the initial creative process, it can be difficult to make big changes like the one Disney made with Elsa. What if Frozen had been your baby, and for however long you knew Elsa was the evil without a cause queen? In fact, you built the entire story around that being her character. Would you have been able to totally gut the story by changing her character? It seems to me, if we want to be successful writers, we have to emotionally divorce ourselves from our babies after the creation process. We must entrust them to honest critics and be willing to take the feedback. Hello. You want to say hello? Everybody stop it. But one has to transition from artist to editor or business person to do that. Can you change so that you can change the work into something better? Now, on to today's literary technique. Here's my gift to you. When I'm stuck, sometimes I just write a journal about being stuck. And the keys to unstick me are revealed in that journal. So I want you to write a journal entry about change. First, here are the rules. 1, you must be honest. No one's going to see this but you. And 2, you must write for at least 15 minutes in one sitting. You can write longer, but don't break your time up. Do this all in one sitting. And don't just stare at the page, okay? Just write what comes to you. There's no need to edit. It's a journal entry, okay? And 3, you must answer the questions asked. Now, here are the questions. Who told you that you couldn't change? Maybe somebody told you outright, or maybe somebody didn't, constantly picked at your self-esteem so that you thought change was impossible. Or maybe somebody you really looked up to find it incredibly difficult to change, incredibly difficult to quit smoking or something, and you just accepted that fear of change was the natural way of life. What made you think that change was impossible? 2, when was the last time someone told you that you couldn't change? Hello. Say hello. Ah. Zaijian. And when was the last time that someone made you think you couldn't change? So, who told you you couldn't change or made you think you couldn't change? And when was the last time that happened? And number 3, what do you wish they would have said to you instead or showed you instead? Now say that thing to yourself over and over again. Post it on the fridge, on your mirrors. Make it the wallpaper on your phone. Do what you've got to do to change your relationship with change. Change happens. It's inevitable. So, are you going to hold the reins and direct the change? Or are you going to cover your eyes and hope you don't crash? Here's the word of the day. Now, if you've stuck around this long, or the quote of the day, I'm going to give you something else of value. The relevant quote is from Elon Musk, who says, "Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster." How badly do you want to finish writing that story? How badly do you want other people to read and feel your story? Are you going to make the necessary changes? Or are you going to let your creative genius lay in ruins or lie in ruins? I hope this finds you in good health, in good spirits, and inspired. I'm Danah V. Richardson. Thank you for watching. So I said that I would show you some of what's going on. A lot of people have left already, and you know that people were walking around looking at me, wondering what on earth I was doing talking to a computer screen. So I'm just going to let you see. They're making a deal right here, if you can see. You see the umbrellas with the information on it? It's really crowded here too. There are a lot of people still here.